We are in Dubai, obviously, and I think this is going to be a conversation about the city. Every conversation I have here, either with people who are in business locally or expats who live here, comes back to how much this city has changed. And I wonder, if you look back over the last couple of years, what's the key thing that has made Dubai now different than what Dubai was 5 years ago?
I think there is a secret about Dubai, is the way Dubai is functioning. The entrepreneurial spirit that the city has, it is embedded for centuries ago. If we look at 1959, when the late Sheikh Rashid decided to dredge Dubai Creek to attract more trade into the city, and then investing in building the largest port, Jebel Ali Port in 1979, when most of the consultants decided that this is not a good idea, and then moving to building one of the most successful airlines, taking the DP World from managing a local port to one of the largest port operators globally. So this entrepreneurial spirit is what drives changes in Dubai, is to take the right calculated risk, to be courageous in making the right decisions, which enables the city itself to reinvest in the city. So it's very important to really look at what Dubai is doing. There are very few cities around the world that they continue investing in the both soft and hard infrastructure. This gives trust to the foreign direct investors. If we look at the FDI that came into the city, last year, the first half of 2024, 801 FDI projects, more than 21 billion US dollars. Mm-hmm. This gives comfort for people to come in. And the other side is the world now is competing around talent. Having the openness when it comes to economy, when the talented people looking at how the city is reinvesting in itself, this really encouraged more talent to inflow in the city. Dubai was ranked based on the latest cities ranking by Kearney as the #1 in terms of talent attraction and retention. I think this what makes Dubai special. It is deeper than looking at the hard infrastructure. It is the way the city is functioning, the very well integrated system between the private public sector that drives for more investment and growth for moving forward.
I think some of the steps that come to mind that made Dubai more attractive is obviously liberalized visas and make it much easier to bring in talented people. You've liberalized your alcohol laws, which is important for people from certain parts of the world. You've changed the laws on cohabitation. Is there anything that if you could write the regulations for Dubai that you would want to see happen next along that line of things?
I think Dubai does not have a unanimous decision when it comes to the way they change laws. Even myself, as a representation of Dubai Chamber, we always look at what does the private sector require. So it's very important to make sure that we represent the private sector, being the active voice of private sector through having the right policy advocacy systems in place. If we look at the last 3 years, we managed to review 299 laws with the private sector. And what's more important than that is the high adoption rate from the government. So 56% of the recommendation that came directly from the private sector was adopted in the laws. Having this openness and working closely with the private sector to ensure that they have the right business environment, not only to sustain, to thrive and continue growing, it's what matters. So going back to your question, it is the decision of the private sector and the willingness of the people living in the city and the private sector to decide which laws required to be changed and should be aligned with the strategies of the government.
Someone mentioned to me that they told someone in government, Dubai's great, but he can't walk. There's no place for pedestrians to go. And then in the last couple of years, there are efforts made to make it a little bit more pedestrian friendly. Is that one of the things that you think is like a sort of big next step for Dubai? Or?
Well, if we look at the last 5 years, the amount of investment that went into biking trails, and recently there was a big project to increase the walkability in the city, and the first phase will be around the Museum of the Future and Sheikh Zayed Road. I think all of the services or infrastructure required to improve the living standards already in projects that is ongoing, is not only in plans on paper. So this was one of them. And recently, about a week ago, there was an announcement by His Highness for Therm Dubai, one of the largest wellness centers in the city. So this city does not only offer a safe place for business, it's really looking at the other angle of how can people enjoy themselves with their family, and how can we ensure that the right well-being infrastructure is available for the people.
Let's stay on talent just for another moment. What hinders Dubai from attracting the best people?
I think it should be looked at the other way around, is how can Dubai attract more people? Already there are a lot of initiatives that was very effective, having different schemes of visas similar to Golden Visa and different visas specifically targeting this area. And one of the areas that will continue growing and evolving over time is how can we have the right platforms for talents to come to the city? One of the main things is growing the digital economy. Looking at most of the talent now, or they're phrased as or labeled as the digital nomads, they're required to have a safe place, a good place to do business, easy to entry. So we hosted last year Expand North Star. It's growing very fast. It's the largest digital startup event. 1,800 tech startups played a very active role, meeting 1,200 investors with assets under management exceeded $1 trillion. Visited by 70,000 visitors. And none of these talented people and startups were forced to come to the city. So it's not only talking about ranking that I mentioned earlier about easy of talent and entry of talent, it's about people flying down actually here to conduct businesses, to meet other startups and meet investors to start their businesses here. And I think what matters is to really understand the new sector, especially in digital economy, that it is very interesting for talented people to come to the city.
Is there a city, when you think of, obviously through the perspective of attracting and advocating for business, that you especially admire, or that's a potential model for where Dubai wants to be?
I think it was clearly mentioned in D33 that Dubai wants to be one of the top 3 cities globally. Dubai always competes with itself, and what really matters in Dubai that we have a clear strategy. The D33 agenda is to double up the size of the economy within a decade, to have more than 650 billion in terms of FDI investment over the course of 10 years, to attract more talent. So we concentrate on our strategy. We welcome the growth of other cities, since Dubai is a connector, a catalyst for growth. So the way we look at it is really how can we continue growing. It's good to have other cities growing. We always look at the positive side. How can we collaborate? How can we magnify the growth by creating twinning initiatives with other cities? But we continue concentrating on our strategies to have growth in economy and increase the wellness of people.
But competition's a good thing, and having competitors in mind can focus the mind. Who do you see as Dubai's competitors?
I think Dubai always had competitors, but sometimes some competitors, they create more noise. And the way we look at it, we always go back to the entrepreneurial spirit of Dubai. How can we look at opportunities within challenges? So I think one of the secrets of Dubai is we thrive through competition. So we always welcome more competition, because this always puts us on the spot to be more creative in finding solutions. And I think this is the way forward for Dubai. And one of the things that always help Dubai is the diversity that we have here. More than 190 nationalities living in Dubai. If we look at the growth in population in the last year, we have a net growth of roughly 250,000 people who came into the city, not only to find jobs, even to invest. and the transaction in the real estate sector was a highest record, more than $500 billion dirhams. So having all of the growth indicators, increased number of companies formed, and last year 70,000 new companies joined Dubai Chamber as members. I think all of the indicators are positive. We will try our best to continue being positive, and I think what's important and what makes Dubai continue its growth is how inclusive Dubai is, and Dubai always is a collaborator. So we always prefer to work with people to find the best way for growth.
Is Abu Dhabi a competitor?
Abu Dhabi is our capital. We're proud of our capital, and I think we work closely in joint projects. There are joint projects, especially in renewable energy. Renewable energy is one of the areas that lots of different countries around the globe, since we come from fossil fuel background, they think that renewable energy is not a priority. Dubai hosts the largest single-site solar energy park, Mohammed bin Rashid Solar Park, and Dubai initiated a very large joint investment with Abu Dhabi, renewable energy. So we always work with the 7 Emirates closely, both private and public sector. At the end of the day, the growth is growth for the country and for the region.
Dubai was known for, well, at some point, pearl diving, right? and then ports, infrastructure. What do you think the Dubai of 2030, of 2035 wants to be known for? The capital of what?
I cannot guess exactly what will happen in 2035, but one of the things that Dubai is concentrating heavily on is digital economy, especially in AI. If we look at the latest initiatives and maybe expand North Star, the one I mentioned previously, is one of the areas. But AI is very important because we have a small population, and AI will enable us to double our output with the same population that we have living in the UAE. So we look at digital economy as a growth catalyst for us rather than just a luxury. I think Dubai...
And a nation building.
Yes. And I think
instrument of a nation building. Yeah.
I think Dubai will continue reshaping itself on the things or elements that change in the future, but I think digital economy will definitely have a major contribution in the GDP of the city.
What do you think is the greatest threat to realizing that vision?
I think the greatest threat might be is if we stop being innovative. So it's very important being in a summit like today is to really be open to the world, to hear best practices from different organizations, different countries. And it's very important for us to continue building up on the international relationship that we have to ensure that we don't do projects only in our favor. It's very important to have win-win relationship with other partners to ensure that we have sustainable growth.
What is the, your chamber, how is the work that you do in Dubai different from what, let's say, a Chamber of Commerce would do in New York or London? Is there something different about doing business here that you help facilitate in a different way than those others?
Majority of chambers globally, they might concentrate on domestic affairs. We had a major restructure 3 years ago. So yes, we'll continue ensuring that we have a very good business environment domestically, but it's very important to concentrate on the growth internationally. So under Dubai International Chamber, we're very keen to attract more FDI into the city of Dubai, in addition to supporting our companies to go and expand globally through a network of 33 offices that we have. Through these offices, we managed last year itself to meet more than 10,000 businesses. We attracted more than 51 multinational companies, and we helped more than 114 companies to expand. And the digital economy, or a chamber, Dubai Chamber for Digital Economy, is the future. Is a dedicated chamber, the first of its kind in the whole Middle East, to concentrate on digital economy. And the challenging part here is not to improve policies or laws that are existing, is to create laws and policies that might not be existing anywhere in the world, to suggest new laws, rather than stopping innovation, is to acquire such innovation and give them the sandbox environment so they can thrive and grow.
Since talking to a journalist, we cannot end on too positive a note. So I wanted you to, coming back to the idea of threats, what worries you? You said you worry about, if you lose the innovative spirit. Okay, that's a little bit abstract. Can I make it more concrete? Is the threat a economic competition from somewhere else? Is it geopolitics? You had Iranian missiles land on your beaches not that long ago.
I think what worries, what should worry most of the chambers internationally is the changes that are happening globally, especially around talent. By 2050, roughly, more than 1/3 of talent will be coming from Africa. So it's very essential for us to really work closely with the emerging markets and creating development programs jointly with them to ensure that we don't reach a time that we don't have ready talent for us. So this is really a very important part. The second part is, the debate between innovating more in technology and the privacy of users. So UAE is very advanced in AI, and they're continuing to reshaping a lot of legislation. And if we hear majority of discussions and debates now, especially coming from the West, is, we should stop a lot of innovation due to data privacy, but we should look at it the other way around. If we were not sharing data coming from our mobile, we would not have Google Maps. If we did not have Google Maps, we would not have food aggregator who enjoy ordering food to be delivered to our homes or groceries. So I think it's very important to really strike a balance between both. Yes, put the right systems to protect the data privacy, but to enable the innovators to create solutions that will improve the productivity and efficiency of the business sector.
Hamid, thank you very much. That was fascinating.
Thank you.